Okay, as promised, we're gonna start nuking the Ukraine contingent that I wrote last time. I want to finish with 10 responses by the end of this video, and they'll be of varying quality, so take the ones that you like or draw inspiration from the ones that you like. The first thing that I'm gonna do, though, is just brainstorm as many responses as I can think of that theoretically would beat this contention. So, for example, no trade-off between Taiwan and Ukraine. We can actually start on the uniqueness. Like, uniqueness would be actually, Ukraine is winning. US, really, Ukraine is winning. It's not quite enough because it would win. It would be enough if the scenario was about Russia, but the scenario is about US credibility. So what we really want right here is US cred high now. We can have uniqueness on Ukraine as well. So US arms sales slash commitments to Ukraine are rising. Um, Also uniqueness on the impact scenario here. So something like North Korea is kept in check now, or something like that. No trade-off between Taiwan and Ukraine takes out the link. We can also say something like arms sales are a minor part of credibility. Um, we can say, allies fill in for arms sales, although that wouldn't be a great response because it doesn't really answer US cred unless you implicate it correctly. Um, we can say US arms sales to Ukraine are bad uh, as an impact turn, though it would contradict a lot of the other responses. We could say, let's see, trade-off is with other allies instead. They matter less, or even arms sales to them are bad. We can say, and the other warrant for no trade-off is like small overlap in weapons. Um, what else? We can also say that like weapon supplies increasing, or other ways that the US military is solving the trade-off now. Alt causes for US abandonment of Ukraine slash reductions in weapons. Um, Other responses. We can think of more as we go. Of these, let's see. I have some cards that I've cut on Ukraine. So I want to go check what those cards will do for us, and we can start making those into responses. And then we'll kind of combine that with our list of potential responses, come up with some more logical ones, and fill them all in. So let's see. I've got some stuff on Ukraine at the bottom of this document. That's where we found the cards that we used to cut it in the first place. It's still loading it. And there are some others that we can use to help beat it as well. Uh, I'll also maybe throw in some like small, not really indites, but like maybe recuts of the cards that I use in this contention, just in case people actually watch this video and do copy it. You can beat it very easily, hopefully. So let's see. This was the North Korea impact scenario. Um, this was some stuff on Taiwan I didn't end up using. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay. It was this card. So this card says that the trade-off is not with Ukraine. Instead, it's with the Middle East, specifically like Saudi Arabia. So we can use that to have a turn. It's, I guess, both defense and a turn where we say, oh, did it not copy the citation? It's annoying. Here we go. Okay, yeah. Taiwan will require trade-offs, but Ukraine is not the way. Taiwan's greatest competitor for systems um, is not Ukraine, but large Middle Eastern buyers. We don't need this part at all. Um, maybe we can re-highlight this part. No, we don't need it because we could, it interferes with us making another response. It's just that there's no trade-off at all. Large Middle Eastern buyers, Taiwan's weapons backlog predates the war. They received weapons through two different channels. So all of these are different responses that we can use. One, Taiwan's weapon backlog predates the war. Two, Ukraine or Taiwan and Ukraine receive arms through two different channels. So we can actually break this up into a bunch of different responses. Let's see. One, um, Taiwan weapons backlog predated war. Clearly alt causes for stockpile shortages and no evidence of trade-off. Two. And then let's just cut each of these pieces one by one. So I'll take the citation here, throw this here. Let's say no link. Uh, I'll keep it bold. It's kind of a tag. And then I'll just grab this part here. And we'll have a little microcard situation. Uh, so something like this is fine. Then two, um, Taiwan and Ukraine use different channels for arms. And then we can cut it from here. Okay. This is also a no link argument. And it's the same citation, and we can cut it down to make it a little baby card again. Um, yeah, okay. And then three is maybe the turn here. Um, Taiwan competes with Saudi Arabia and UAE, not Ukraine. And then something like reducing arms sales to those buyers is reduces human rights abuses and military adventurism. Okay, let's see. Taiwan's greatest competitor, large Middle Eastern buyers. Um, yeah, okay. We don't need this because we cut it above. Taiwan has competed most directly with Egypt, Jordan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. We don't really need those ones. Maybe Qatar. I mean, it's not really important. These countries buy systems Taiwan's needs most in large quantities, exceeding Ukraine. Um, we don't need this. Okay, this is good. We can cut this as another defensive response, actually. So I'll cut it out of this part and make it a different response. Um, okay, let's throw this here and then grab the citation again, please. Okay, so this can be number three, and we're cooking here. Number three is no link. Ukraine and Taiwan get different kinds of weapons. Um, yeah, limited overlap. So newest reviews prove, and then we could say that they, I don't know, post date or something. I don't know that that's true. Actually, let me look at the dates for this. So that's our uniqueness. Yeah, this is 2024. So maybe it did not post date, but that's fine. Um, Quantities are low and unlikely to delay key arms transfers. Um, True. Okay. Then number four is the turn. So we can cut out all of this like so. The Middle East, buyers in the Middle East have been the biggest drain. We don't need that. The faster way to get weapons to Taiwan would be to reduce deliveries to arms buyers in the Middle East. substantial condition-free, fueled regional conflicts, contributed to human rights abuses, and are not good for deterrence. Um, yeah, okay. We don't need this. We don't need that. Biden has demonstrated willing. Biden has demonstrated willingness. And then finally, if the US is serious about arming Taiwan, will pause or slow deliveries to large buyers in the Middle East to divert this protection capacity toward Taiwan. Um, okay. This is good, right? We could use this for the tag. Like if the US continues increasing, or maybe as long as the US increases military support for Taiwan, it will reduce deliveries to the Middle East. Is a pretty good tag for this. So let's see. As long as the US is serious about arming Taiwan, it will divert, it will reduce militaries, reduce arms sales to the Middle East, to maybe these countries. Whoa, earthquake. Cool. Okay. Taiwan competes with Saudi Arabia and UAE. Military adventurism is not enough. It does directly say military conflict, so we might as well include that. Um, that's crazy. There's a small earthquake happening right now. I'm in Hualien, so it makes sense. We're in the east of Taiwan. You probably can't see it because it's not enough to like shake the screen or anything, but that's pretty cool. Okay. So that's enough for this card, I think. So let's cook some more responses up. So we got four already. So we're already doing pretty well on time. Uh, a lot of them are just no links and they're pretty generic. So let's do some uniqueness stuff. Like maybe US cred is high now. Maybe US committed to Ukraine. We can also find some like Ukraine arms sales are high stuff. Um, oh yeah, here we go. Okay, let's see what this is. Um, United States announces significant new military assistance for Ukraine. This is October 21st. Okay, this is like really recent. Um, okay, I think did I actually cut this already? I did cut this already. I'm kind of silly. I think it's down here. It's Blinken. Can I find my Blinken evidence, please? Not here. Yes, here we go. Okay, okay, okay. This is like just a few days ago, so it definitely postdates the link evidence, I think, right? Yeah, because that's from January. So we're definitely postdating, and I think we're postdating the uniqueness evidence as well, which is from September. So posting a little bit, but postdating nonetheless. So we can add this as I don't know. The order doesn't really matter anymore. I probably would include this higher up, but let's see. U.S. military support for Ukraine is increasing significantly in the SQO. And then we've got another good response there. We posted. Then let's see. So that's enough for Ukraine arms sales. Can we get like a generic like U.S. military credibility alliances strong, something like that? Uh, yeah, yeah. Oh, here we go. Indo-Pacific alliances are astonishingly strong. Maybe European ones would be good as well. Let's see. We don't need interests. Blah 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 blah. Must strengthen. Let's see what the news says. Um, Future of alliance-based deterrence against China. That's an interesting article. I might save this article because that's probably a good read for later. Especially because this topic is going to continue, after the election results. So that will be important uniqueness later. I'm just going to add that to where is it? My more Taiwan cards. I'm literally blind. Okay. So I'll add it to the bottom of there because I want to read that later. Um, but what else are we looking for? Any credibility stuff would be great. Um, oh my gosh, taking so long to load hotel Wi-Fi. Okay. Future of US alliances. China. Trump. Harris. Okay. So we don't need this for now. This one is pretty good. It is from 2023, which is a little bit old. Um, but we might as well. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty good though. Like we might as well include it. It's not like cred high necessarily. Um, U.S. alliances and partnerships. It's probably not good for me to cut out Indo-Pacific. Are the most robust they've been in all of their history. Um, Exceptional durability of the U.S. alliances. Um, Washington has been cultivating friendship networks. Um, yeah, Biden has bolstered them. Cool. And then maybe we just cut one on Europe and call it a day without finding like a generic one. But I don't know. So I'll have to add in the date here, but that's fine. It was December something. Um, Actually, yeah, which day? December 8th. Okay, so 12/8/2023, which is not that old actually. December, it's the best we could ask for in 2023. Okay. So we'll throw that in there to say cred is high right now. Um, US alliance cred is high in SQO. And then is there like another one that's good? We don't need this right now. What was the rest of the news actually? Primacy requires partners, credible grand strategy, strong ties, high anxiety. That's an interesting one too. Maybe we read that later as well. Strong alliance defends strong alliance. Let's see Europe though. How is like NATO doing? NATO, okay, US commitment, credibility, NATO, strong. Um, let's see. Okay, I mean this is fine here. Um, let's see. And also we can find just like America, credible, Ukraine to just get to the root of the issue, if I can spell. Austin affirms unwavering support. Oh, what is this? Actually, I mean, this is probably not what I'm looking for, but I mean, another interesting trade-off argument. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as before, I think. Um, oh, here we go. Structural foundation of US power remains strong. Um, what about credibility? Credibility. Can we get credibility high right now? Because that presumably that's what this article is saying. Um, Fall of Taiwan would be bad. Yeah, yeah. Well, where's the credibility? No, whatever. This is not helpful for us. Um, Sure. This is just another Ukraine impact. Let's see. What is this? Nah, we don't really need that. Um, okay. Yeah, I mean, it seems like our credibility is fine, although I can't find a card that explicitly says that. Um, but whatever. What is the NATO stuff? Did we find NATO stuff? Yeah, let's see. Um, okay, this seems to indicate high credibility in Europe, so I think we're fine with this. Let's see. We can also find like what Ukraine thinks about the US. If we find anything that's like Zelensky is like thanking the US or something, that might be good. Um, NATO. I mean, confident is a good word for cred. US will stay committed to the military alliance. Um, let's see. The US, 31 friends and allies, something like that. Um, and we don't need the Trump comments. Okay, sure. So this was this article, Euro News. Do you have an author? Yeah, we'll throw those authors in there after I put the citation in. Um, and this just gives us a generic, like, it's also high in Europe thing. It would be better if we had something that's more specific to Ukraine, but this is fine for now. It at least proves that the internal link is not happening in the status quo, um, which is good enough. And actually, like maybe arguably better because the team is running the Ukraine scenario will probably not have the internal link uniqueness prepped. So they won't be able to answer this. Well, they might have like the generic Ukraine stuff, Ukraine uniqueness prepped. Um, so let's see. Cred is high in Squo. We could say in Asia and in Europe. Okay. Uh, seven. We can also just throw in some non-carded responses. I mean, cards are a little bit overrated, not gonna lie. So let's see. What do we have up here? Um, let's see. Oh, I mean, some other generic responses are just like if disaster, if like, what was the impact we went for on this actually? Was it was North Korea, right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could just add some impact defense on North Korea. Like if North Korea starts acting up, the US can just strengthen uh commitments against North Korea to counter it. Which is low-key a fire response that is quite underrated in my opinion. Like if the impact starts happening, we'll just solve the impact. Okay, let's see. US arms sales to Ukraine are bad. Oh, and also this applies to the other ones. We can't forget that there's also like a Taiwan scenario here as well. Same for China vis-a-vis Taiwan and other enemies like Iran. Okay. Weapon supply is increasing. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. So there's another article that I remember looking over. This one. No, this one. This Heritage Foundation article that I think this article is about how we can avoid the trade-off between Taiwan and Ukraine, but I don't completely remember. So let's see. US must prioritize deterring China. Mhm. This right here. Uh, okay, 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 good. So let's read the full report. Um, it's this part. Let's see. If we can just cut this, hopefully this has a lot of good answers that will allow us to beat the trade-off link. And then that's probably the last thing that I need to cut. Uh, Not that I really need any of this. We've kind of already nuked the argument. Let's see. Navigating Taiwan-Ukraine trade-offs. Key challenge. First of all, we've got uniqueness, which is pretty good. Um, oh, and there's some other more obvious responses I'm thinking of. Like, actually, let's go back real quick because the most obvious response is just um, abandoning Taiwan sends a stronger signal of appeasement and destroys our credibility even more than abandoning Ukraine. Several reasons why it is stronger. A is the abandonment would be more public and explicit, um, based on normal means, whereas there's not much evidence of abandoning Ukraine at the moment. B, the abandonment would come um, before support in conflict instead of after. So the message is worse, right? The US can abandon you at any time versus the US will stick up for you for a few years and then abandon you. One is seems more severe than the other and induces more panic in allies. C is that maybe um, proximity, like there are more um, fearful allies and aggressive enemies in the Asia Pacific compared to Europe, and fewer allies to support us, like credibility, manage trade-offs. And that seems like enough. So we've got a good turn here with some weighing. Um, but let's keep cutting this. Okay. Let's see. Trade-offs occur when inventories are insufficient. This is annoying. It keeps, I shouldn't have like copied it this way because it's inserted all the quote, all of the like evidence in an annoying way. Let's see. Um, does this have anything good for us actually though? Let me just like read through it real quick. So trade-offs occur because of weapon shortages. In particular, they want these weapons. Recommendations. Prioritize delivering weapons to Taiwan. Um, can do that with these things. At the same time, okay, here's what we really want to cut. So we don't actually need any of the other stuff, in my opinion. Uh, okay. So let's just get rid of all of this, actually. Like, arguably, you could keep that first line that I highlighted. Um, but it's not really that important. So this is what we really need from the article. Um, Washington can do the following to reduce trade-off. Increase U.S. weapons production. Um, Support efforts to strengthen allied industries. Raise, maybe pressure NATO allies to increase military aid to Ukraine. Um, Reform the FMS process. to include speeding up delivery. Okay. And work closely with Taipei to ensure it is uh, to strengthen, let's just say, work closely with Taipei to strengthen defenses, including um, acquisition of asymmetric defense capabilities and accelerating defense reforms. Okay, cool. So that's a good card. It's like a laundry list of different things that the US can do to avoid trade-offs. Green 23. All right, let's see. And then we can dig through it to see how many warrants there actually are. Um, and then we can be kind of cheeky about it and then number them in the tag, or at least like state the number and then force them to try to figure out which ones are which. So let's see. Washington can do the following. One, increase weapons production. Two, support efforts to strengthen allied industries. Three, pressure NATO allies to increase military aid to Ukraine. Four, reform the FMS process. Five, work closely with Taipei to reform its defense. So um, five ways the US can avoid trade-offs. Five ways the US can avoid trade-offs if they become um, dangerous. Cool. So that's nine responses. We can throw in a 10th analytic here as well to meet my original promise. So I'm not gonna put the impact turn in, but you could cut it. There's probably a case to be made for it. Like, I don't know, like Russia nuke war or something. Um, Alt causes for US abandonment. Oh yeah, that's a good one, right? All causes. So we can actually do a recut of one of the cards because I remember the uniqueness card in the Ukraine contention actually says that it's because of stockpiles. I kind of like do some tricky wordplay to link that to the stockpile concerns around military preparedness for China. So like if someone were to answer the argument this way, you would say our evidence, our link card, our Poznansky evidence indicates that the U.S. is hoarding stockpiles of weapons in order to be prepared to deter China in the event of a Taiwan invasion, which counts as U.S. military support for Taiwan. But you could just say that no, there are like plenty of alt causes for why the U.S. might be hoarding weapons for deterring China from lots of different things. So let's see. Your own evidence says um, Ukraine says gives alt causes for reductions in arms sales in Ukraine, namely um, the military is hoarding supplies for preparedness against um, possible adversaries in the future. Um, so we can just do a recut, I guess. We don't really. I don't really feel like recutting it. Do I? Nah. Who cares? Um, that means. Oh, come on, computer, please. Okay. That means reduction of arms sales in Ukraine will happen even in the AF world. So I guess no solvency, no link, no, yeah, sure. This is also no link. This is no internal link or no impact. And we should be done. So there's 10 responses to Ukraine. I'll include this brainstorm at the top, just in case anyone wants to take any inspiration from it. But I think this is pretty good. We've got two pretty good turns in here, and they don't contradict each other. So that's some good offense, and then just a bunch of no link arguments that seem like somewhat convincing to me, in my opinion. So cool. Hope that was interesting to you. Next time we'll continue prepping some other stuff. I'll continue reading the news and giving updates on the news, and prepping some other, probably more neg arguments because I've given more attention to the AF recently. So see you then. Bye bye.